Prank, a BEK story. Every urban area has its psych ward. The place where they're gonna come and take you away, haha. The place where they come and take you away too, if you start acting a little too weird. Where I come from, it was 999 Queen Street. I go there once a month. As a visitor. To see my best friend, Frankie. He's been in there 3 years, and once a month I go and sit with him, even though he hasn't spoken to me or anyone else since that awful night 3 years ago. I sit there for an hour in silence. People ask me why I go. They say, I bet he doesn't even know who you are. And I don't have a good answer. Penance, I guess. I feel somehow responsible for what happened, if only because I didn't participate in the fatal affair or try and stop it. You see, Frankie was a prankster who was always playing practical jokes, some of the mean ones, on people. It was a golden day in late autumn. I was basking in the sun out back of the school, basking out back, listening to some tunes and chillin', if you can be chillin' while sunbathing. Frankie suddenly loomed over me, even though he's a bit of a shrimp, and when I looked at him, I almost crapped my pants. His eyes were gone. Or should I say, they were black. 2 pools of solid black, staring down at me. What the fuck? I started to say, when he burst into whoops of laughter. Pretty scary, eh? What? Are those black contacts? I'm a BEK. What? You know, the black-eyed kids? The black-eyed children? I might have been alone in the universe, but I'd never heard of the black-eyed children. Frankie told me the black-eyed kids, or BEK, were demons in the form of supernatural children who would ring your doorbell, usually late at night, and ask to come inside, either to use the telephone to call their parents or to use the bathroom. And it was big trouble if you let them in. According to Frankie, I was the only person in the known universe who hadn't heard about them. Next thing, you'll be telling me you never heard of the night floaters. Well, those kids would scare the shit out of me if they knocked on my door at night, I admitted. But what are you up to? I have an idea. I was afraid of that. You do know about the Ridge, of course, don't you? The Ridge was a local lover's lane, a dirt trail leading to a clearing in the woods above the 16. And, knowing Frankie like I did, I was afraid to hear what he had in mind. Everybody else in the world knows about the black-eyed kids, even if you don't. What do you think would happen if 2 of them suddenly appeared at the window when people were making out in the back seat? Talk about scaring the shit, eh? Way more terrifying than the hook, even. Sounds to me like a good way to get your head punched in. Nah, they'd be so terrified they'd take off. We got nothing to worry about. What do you mean, we? Well, I got a pair of black contacts for you, too. No way I'm doing that. Ah, come on. Come on. I'm not interested in getting myself murdered. Besides, it's creepy. It's only a prank. It's perverted. All right. I'll get Dave then. Dave was always the threat whenever I didn't want to do something. Frankie could talk him into anything. Well, Dave could have this one. I intended to keep well out of it. Or so I intended. Frankie couldn't even interest me by suggesting I might scare the girl of my dreams, Kim, from getting it on with some jock in the back seat. As if I had the power to do that. I went with Frankie and Dave the night of the prank, but stayed in the car, which was well away from the other vehicles. It was Frankie's old Ford Explorer. He handed me the keys and I turned it around. I figured we might need to make a quick getaway. So I sat there, radio surfing and scrolling through my messages, when I heard somebody running down the dirt path. I was ready to put the car in gear when Dave surprised the hell out of me by booking it past me without even slowing down. I yelled out the window, "Hey, where the hell are you going?" Instead of stopping, Dave hollered, "Run! Run!" as he pelted down the trail. Swearing, I jumped out of the Explorer and started down the path to find out what was going on. Don't ask me why I didn't drive. I just went on foot, okay? I saw Frankie staggering towards me, like he was drunk or something. And all the time, he was pushing with his hands, pushing something away from him, something that was not there. "Frankie, you okay, bro?" I said. But he just stared at me with those damn black contacts. Come on, bro, don't do that to me," I said, figuring he was spoofing me. "It ain't funny." And that's when I noticed he was drooling and that he'd pissed himself. Somehow I got him into the Explorer and was just about to take him. I wasn't sure if I should take him home or take him to the hospital when I saw them. They were right outside the windows. 3 of them, a goth guy and 2 goth chicks, in dark hoodies and with those black eyes, those awful black eyes. Eyes I knew were not black contacts. Solid black eyes, orbs that were real. They were staring in at us and tapping on the windows and chanting, "Frankie, Frankie." Frankie started screaming, and I peeled out of there, with those hideous black-eyed children running alongside us and laughing. Frankie. Witty, humorous, charming Frankie. Hasn't spoken since that night. No, he doesn't talk, but he screams sometimes. Sometimes all night. Dave hasn't been right in the head since. He told me that he and Frankie, wearing those fucking black contacts, approached a likely parked car, a likely victim, when we were suddenly surrounded by those fucking kids, touching us all over and whispering our names. Frankie yells at me to run, and I ran. But that ain't the worst part of it, bro. The worst part of it is that those kids, those black-eyed kids, they know where I live, and sometimes at night, they're outside my house, and they tap on the windows and call me by name. For some reason, the black-eyed kids have left me alone. But the guilt won't leave me alone, which is why I'm sitting here, watching Frankie shudder and drool. I know it wasn't my fault, but I still feel guilty. Maybe I could have stopped it. Maybe. A big maybe. Suddenly, Frankie begins screaming, just like on that night, looking wide-eyed towards the barred window. There are 3 kids outside the window, 3 teens wearing dark hoodies, with evil, hypnotic eyes of obsidian blackness, whispering Frankie's name, and whispering my name. My name. They have found me too. They have found me too. WSJ here. I hope you enjoyed this story of the black-eyed children, who are almost as scary as the night floaters. Please feel free to share this video, comment, I love comments, or drop a like and subscribe for more night floaters and ghost stories of a librarian. And remember, stay hungry.